Today's video is sponsored by Land Air Sea. Keep tabs on all your valuable assets from the palm of your hand. Remember, with Land Air Sea, theft is temporary. Visit landairSea.com to order your Land Air Sea GPS unit for your classic vehicle.
Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Jeff and I'm here with Lance of Superformance, and we're taking a look at a very unique car, right? This one is actually electric. This is the MKIII-E, right?
Yeah.
So do you mind walking through this car? We even have a special badge on the front, just kind of, I guess, subtle, right? Otherwise you wouldn't know.
You wouldn't really know. You know, you look, there's no side pipe, so, well, it's a roadster. Then you look, there's no gear lever. Well, okay, what's going on here? Something's wrong, something's missing. What are these fools from Superformance doing now? Well, anyhow, so this came to me as a project. A friend of mine, Joe from GoTech Engineering and Joe's Garage, he said, I want to do a first electric Cobra for you. I said, Joe, forget about it. I'm a piston guy. I'm an ICE engine guy. Don't want to know anything about electric cars. I plan to die and say I've never driven an electric car. That's my plan. But things changed. I ended up owning a few electric cars, and he came and he said, let's just do send me a roller. Send me one of your Superformances as they come from the factory, and I'll make all the changes. And it did take us about a year. It took him about a year. Lots of testing, lots of, man, the guy went to extreme lengths to get this car right. It even has the cooling for the batteries. It has the cooling for the engine, the electric motor. Listen to me saying engine. The electric motor, which we found out we didn't really need, because this has a Tesla drivetrain in it, and the Teslas weigh nearly 5,000 pounds. This car weighs 2,450 pounds. So the electric motor never gets hot. The batteries don't get hot, not with all the driving we've done.
Wow. And
with all the burnouts we've done with the car. I mean, it's just the craziest car to drive. And I know I was telling you something before, and I can't remember exactly which I was going. But when I did some videos with this car, in the first burnouts, I didn't realize that in a burnout, when you're spinning around, this car, the tires spun so fast, they lost traction and it stopped going around. The car just stopped with the tires smoking in one spot. And eventually I couldn't see anything, and I came out of the smoke. And it's in the video, but I was wanting to do about another 3. Nope, the wheels are probably doing 18,000 RPM or something like that. It's just the craziest car you can imagine. And it is to date the fastest car 0 to 100 that I've ever driven. And I've got a Ford GT. I've driven we had a 1,500 horsepower twin turbo Cobra that we built for SEMA one year. But all those cars start making, that car is making also close to 1,000 pound-foot of torque, but it's making it 4.5, nearly 5. It's really high up. It was a Coyote-based engine. This car makes it from 1 mile an hour. From 1 mile an hour, it's making 1,000 pound-foot of torque, and people have a hard time understanding that. And as some of the videos that Doug did and got into a little bit of trouble the one day, you have to, the moment you touch the throttle, you instantly know you got it correct, because it's now going to kick out. Whereas a piston engine car, you floor it, you feel it starting to break loose, you correct, you go grab the back end. No, this is going to jump sideways at 2 miles an hour. It's sideways, and that's the difference. It's just at 80 miles an hour, it can still break the tires loose. I've been doing this 25 years, and I had all these customers over the years that I took them for test drives in the Cobras, and I've done thousands and thousands of test drives. And one of the common things a lot of them said to me, man, you hurt my neck. My neck is so stiff from that day, from the Cobra. And I couldn't understand this. Never ever happened to me, and I was doing this all the time. Well, guess what? When I took this out to do all the testing and all the videos we did and accelerations and stuff, next morning I wake up and I got this stiff, sore neck. And I thought, what the hell? The damn Cobra did that to me.
Yeah.
First time in 25 years, I got the sore neck. So this car whips you back so hard. Just fun to drive. But I'll show you a little more of how it works. So
sure.
Here is the heart. Well, not quite the heart of the beast, but part of the heart. And the battery packs are all in here. It's set up to take 2 battery packs. This battery pack can actually go down lower. We ran 1 battery pack. It's only giving us about 125 miles of range, but this was our prototype. And it's been finished now for over 2 years. A lot of the press have driven it. They beat the hell out of it. They've tried. It's really hard to break an electric car. It doesn't break.
There's not a lot of moving parts.
It's just not a lot of moving parts. It's as reliable as the day is long. As long as you can put power in the back of it, it's going to go. In the batteries. Here's the cool thing. Can somebody bring me some gasoline, please? I've got to fill this electric car quickly. Oh shit, what's going on here?
Wow,
We're not going to get much gas in that tank.
No, not really.
But we'll get a lot of Edison and Florida Power and all the rest of them in there.
Yeah, that's nice that you guys were able to keep the fuel filler and then manage to put everything
So that's
through
all cool. And then this is the cool part. And this is what gives it the good traction, because electric motors, I think, weigh
that's
close to
very well done.
450 pounds. And we left it clear. There it is on top of, a little bit behind the back wheels. And it's given us, I'm not sure what the ratio was, it's 50, 55 front to back. But incredible traction. It just puts its butt down and flies forward. It wants to lift the wheels off the ground in the front. The front wheels are like this when you accelerate hard. But the other wonderful thing, and I know I get really excited when I talk about this car, and people think, why would I? And I love the gasoline Cobras. 20, 40 years of driving gasoline, 45 years of driving gasoline cars. But it's so much excitement when you drive this. You stop at a light and there's some Mustang or some crazy thing going like, want to race you.
Yep.
And it's like they forgot to take off, because they can take off and they normally will break their tires loose easily. This car just leaves the scene. It's not there for the race. It goes away. It's not racing. It's gone.
It's quiet. Yeah.
It just disappears. It's hard to explain. You know, everybody else you race, you go like this. This car, and you're gone. And they get such a fright. They cannot expect it because there's no sound. And a Cobra that has that. The other cool thing, living now in Florida, and I didn't realize this, every now and then I've got to take some of the Cobras down to the shop for servicing and stuff. And by the time you get to the shop, it's 95 degrees, you're hot, you're sweating. The engine is creating another 150 degrees coming up from the side pipes and all the rest of that, something like that.
Sure, yeah.
And the one day I had to take this one down. I just ran down to go pick up some stuff. And I realized, stopped at the light. I'm cool. I'm not overheating because there's no heat.
Yeah,
and
nothing getting into the cabin.
Realize what a difference that makes. You can handle 95 as long as the air is blowing. It's not bad. But 120, 150 when you with the hot engine around you, it's not. So it's a great car. We're doing our first customer cars now. It's also a long wait for one of these. Unfortunately, they are popular. But the first customer car is actually being built now with traction control, ABS. We wanted to play, and I stopped them. They were really keen on playing with self-driving. I said, no, guys, forget about it. They said, it can be done. They said, it's available now. I said, no, I'm not. That's too much of a chance in something as powerful as this. But it's got everything else. Full sound system. They got the new modern iPad-style screen. That was our prototype screen. And sound system and the whole lot. And it's going to it's a young guy. He's a tech guy. He has a Tesla and a couple other cars, and he is so excited about this. And then for myself again, I've kept this one for myself. Everybody wants to buy it, but I don't want to sell it. And then I'm having an all-wheel drive Shelby Daytona done.
Oh,
so
wow.
It'll be our first all-wheel drive electric car.
Dual motor.
We're going for a slightly larger range, so we'll have a little more weight, but we believe dual motor will still be at about 28 to 2,900 pounds. We're hoping to break the 2 second with that car. We haven't broken 2 seconds with this. I think we're in the 2.6s somewhere around there. But that car we're hoping to break the 2 second and be close to what a Plaid is. And
I was going to say that would make it one of the fastest electric cars.
And we actually do have an electric GT40 done already. It's in the UK. A company called Everardi did it for us, and they've got the car. The car is supposed to come out to the US, but there's been some delays. But they've done a lot of testing with it. It's a great driving car. They just went single motor, well, dual motor on the rear.
Okay.
And from what I've heard, it's a rocket ship, because GT40 again came in similar to the Cobra at around 2,500 pounds with, I think it's got a 200-mile range. I'm not sure of that. But the GT40, it's done in the colors of the Chris Amon car that won Le Mans in '66. So with the whole Ford versus Ferrari movie thing, everybody's crazy about that GT40 when it goes to shows. It's just done Salon Previe or in England. It's been out there. So the electric Cobra was just, it's a gotta have. And the customers that are interested in, you won't believe who it is. It's a lot of customers that own our cars at the moment already, and it's people that live in these expensive neighborhoods where if they start their Cobra to go to coffee on a Sunday morning at 5:30 or 6 in the morning,
early,
their neighbors freak out and are unhappy. Now they've got a little car they can sneak off. They love the idea of the electric Cobra just to go and get their coffee on a Sunday morning or a Saturday morning. And that's the guys who are buying a lot of the electric Cobras from us now.
Yeah, and then obviously they don't hear you coming either.
No,
as you mentioned,
you coming
leave it at the light
coming and going
immediately.
And that's the coolest thing. You know, the one day I realized I could have got into a lot of trouble. It's not really true. I'm only lying. I'm embellishing now. That's not true. Don't let the police talk to me. But a guy stopped next to me with a Tesla, and I was in one of the V8 Cobras, blah, 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 making a lot of noise. And I just said to him, no, you know. And then I sat there for a while at the light, and I thought, you know what he's saying? What a wimp in that Cobra. I'm here in my little Tesla, and he doesn't want to take a chance. So I said, okay. And we jumped away, and of course the Tesla just left me standing. And I thought to myself, if the police did hear me or see me, I would be the guy pulled over. Even though the Tesla won, they wouldn't have heard him, and he's gone. But I made a hell of a racket and never really went very far. I didn't even get over 60, so I was still within the speed limit. The electric Cobra, I'm the guy who's going to sneak away, and the other guy is going to get caught. So that's the crazy thing about the V8 Cobra.
Are the other electric models that you're working on, are they also Tesla-based? Or?
Yes, at the moment. It's very difficult. We had planned to go Ford drivetrains, but at the moment Ford can't supply anything new to us. So
they've got a Mach-E package.
They've got a Mach-E package. Stuff, right? It wasn't at the point that we could use it yet.
Okay.
We're still working with them on that. So there's still three more Tesla powered cars, and then hopefully we can do they'll be all Ford drivetrain, and all the new Cobras will be dual motor also with the Mach-E package.
Wow.
Yeah. Because we don't want to go with the north-south setup. We actually want to drive direct on the wheels. We just think that works better, weight distribution, and that's how real electric cars are, not north-south.
Yeah, which you mentioned that you were able to get the battery packs for what's going to be the standard production cars a little bit lower too, so you've got a fairly low center of gravity in these cars.
Yes, and the car, it just handles so well. It's very surprising how well this car handles. We'd love to do more track testing with it. But unfortunately, they closed our racetrack that we have right here. Yeah, we're very sad. In Florida, finally opened a business 2.5 miles from Moroso Racetrack, Palm Beach International, and 6 months after we moved here, they closed the racetrack. So really sad about that.
Yeah, that can make it harder. What are you looking for, like range-wise, out of these? What do you?
So we're hoping to get it around 200. Most of our customers are not going to do longer trips than that. You know, the Cobra is just your fun Sunday morning car. You go do 50 to 100 miles mostly. That's what a lot of guys do with them, and that's where we're at. And as battery technology moves, and it's moving so fast, the whole idea is we want to keep it light so that we can have these blistering accelerating and quarter-mile times. And that's what the fun thing with this car is. You've got a silent but violent, to use a term from another manufacturer, demon.
Yeah, this is a really impressive vehicle. Obviously, the fact that you guys have managed to sort of maintain that classic style, right, but start to bring it into the future a little bit. You've even engineered some subtle bits, right? So again, from the exterior, it's not obvious, but everything is functional in terms of building it for performance with instant torque for electric cars, right? So very impressive. But on the off chance that if they want to go in a different direction, you have some other cars available as well, right? If they want to purchase a gas car. Okay, so we got done taking a look at the electric car, but now we have the Mark III-R, right? So let's take a look at what we got going on here.
So this was another whole lot of fun. Superformance had always avoided going more modern to the Cobras. We always appealed to the traditionalist, the guy that wanted the car that looked like the original car, right down to the Smith gauges, all, warts and all, and we try to stay as that. But it started changing when we were putting 18s and 17-inch wheels on, and eventually we saw the customers just wanted something different. They wanted, the younger customers, and surprise for me, one of my older customers, he's a retired judge, 78 years old, had an original traditional Superformance Cobra with every Shelby part you could imagine to make it look traditional. And one day his wife said to him, "Why don't we get an exciting one like that?" And he said, "I never thought she'd even like that." And he went and bought a fully, as we call it, blinged out, or if you want to say, modern looking Cobra, front spoiler, 8-stack Roush engine, just went for the whole thing. So we realized the market for it. And this is one I've actually kept for myself again. It's after 25 years, I've said, this is the one I want to keep. I just love this car. And Ford had come out with this monster of an engine in the trucks, in the F-250s, and called the Godzilla.
Yes.
And that was an exciting idea. Pushrod engine again. Yeah, we like that. Nice and torquey. We like that. That's a Cobra, to have a torquey engine. So we got the Godzilla, and we worked with a company called Indy Products.
EV Power Products.
Yeah, Indy Power Product. And they did some work on the cylinder heads, cam, and I think a little bit of work in the intake.
I was going to say, there are a few extra goodies there. The carbon cover there doesn't come with the Godzilla.
And then, of course, the oil pan. We shrunk the oil pan up, changed the position of the oil pickup and oil pump, and we ended up with an engine with, as opposed to the truck engine, 400 horsepower, 550 or 60 pound-foot of torque. This is now nearly 600 horsepower and about just over 500 pound-foot of torque. It'll purr. It sits at 800 RPM in all the traffic, idles along like a meek little car. But if you put your foot down, it's a torque monster. It digs a hole in the ground and wants to fly. Really nice car to drive. And then the big surprise was, we had it again, 75 miles an hour on the open road, and we're getting 22 to 24 miles to a gallon from a Cobra. That just never happened with 600 horsepower. That's the old FE big blocks, man, we're lucky if we're getting 10, 11 miles to a gallon on the open road. But this was a car.
I mean, this car has to weigh like half of what most modern cars do, right?
Still also came out, it's a heavier engine, so we probably had about 2,600 pounds in here, because it's still a cast iron block engine out of the truck. But great car to drive. I've done not a crazy amount of miles in this one yet, because I don't get to drive it a lot, but I've run to Miami a couple of times from Palm Beach Gardens, and just beautiful on the highway. It's effortless. It drives like a modern car, and you just know if you need to get away, there's a monster in there that'll push it forward very fast. We did some cool trip with the scallop fenders and the louvers on it, and then right down to the diffuser in the rear. Just a great thing, and I copied the color scheme of my Ford GT. So I've done this, and I'm doing a Daytona that color, and I've got a GT40 that's going to be done that color. So I'll have the 4 of them, and I hope to get an 05, 06 GT that I could do the same color scheme. Then I got the whole lot, the whole collection. Fun car to drive, and a lot of this was derived from Superformance's record car, as known as the Italian Job. If you look up on the internet, look up Italian Job. It was built, it's a Superformance car, and Ted Taormino, crazy Italian, 6'3" Italian, if you can believe it, and wanted to have the fastest Cobra. And the previous record for a Cobra was Dr. Dick Smith, 198 miles an hour with an iron block FE and Webers back in the 80s. I'm actually going blank when he did it. No, could have been, I think it was the 80s, somewhere around there. And Ted wanted to do it with a Superformance car with an old school engine. He did go with a Shelby aluminum block, but it's still an FE, and the Weber setup. And his first couple of attempts, I'm not sure where he ended up, but he ended up with 201 miles an hour. And that was now the new record for Cobra, and we thought it was done. He's never going to be able to improve on that. But he's a determined guy, and he went out, did some modifications to it, but still with the Webers. He managed to run 223 in Colorado. So that is the fastest. He was the fastest on the day, and there were McLarens, there were all sorts of cars that day, but maybe not guys hung the way Teddy's hung that were able to keep their foot in it.
Yeah.
It's a great video to watch his Cobra. It's on the internet. You can find it, the Italian Job, Superleggera Superformance Cobra, 223 miles an hour. So our 30th anniversary Superformance Cobras, which will now be our Shelby edition. It's the first time we'll actually have Shelby badges on them, licensed by Shelby, and will be called the Shelby edition. They will be available from next year only.
Okay.
And it's going to have a lot of the unique stuff that the 223 mile per hour Superformance had, the Superleggera car. It's going to be called our Shelby edition. I think we got
It's going to be a Shelby band. It's going to be a Shelby logo car, but it's still going to be our 30th.
Yeah, 30th anniversary Superformance, and we're really excited about it. But yeah, and this is now another option for our customers out there that want something cool looking and not as traditional as the other Cobras that you see on the road.
Especially
also running 18-inch wheels. It's got the 4-piston, the bigger 4-piston, 6-piston in the front, Woolwoods, and 4-piston in the rear. Lovely car to drive. I really enjoy this car. I spend a lot of time in it.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, especially because for reference, for those of you that don't know, 223 miles an hour is insanely fast, especially for a car like this. And most supercars top out around like 217, I would say.
Yeah, it's faster
with the exclusion
than the
of a few. Yeah, so this car is that's not just a testament to some of the cars that you guys build, really, right? The fact that you can take one of these cars purchased from you guys and then just with some modifications to the engine and some other bits, then take it to a
pan, yarrow there, body, little bit of stuff.
A few things change, but the main body and platform, obviously, that comes from you guys is what's being used in that car.
Proven. Yes, we've got many owners racing our cars, done very well with them. Some of them drive them to the track, race, and then drive them home. Guys that come to mind, Scott Holly raced his car Cobra for many, many years. He races Jaguars, he races in HSR, he races old NASCARs, and he raced his Cobra for like 2 or 3 seasons. It's a lot cheaper for him to race than all the other stuff. I think that was the reason.
Okay, so we have some exciting projects coming out from you guys. We have obviously the electric cars that are coming, and some more versions to be out on the lookout for in the future as well, and of course the Mark III-R. So what's the best way to get a hold of you guys if they're interested in purchasing?
Superformance, www.superformance.com. You go on the website, you'll find all the dealers listed on the website. Pick a dealer in your area, or you just email at the info@Superformance, and that we will push it out to the dealer closest to you or dealer with inventory at the time.
Perfect. So yeah, so there you have it. Whether you're looking for something with some heritage or some of the new options that we just showed you in this video, covering 2 new versions of the Cobra moving forward. So that's going to be it. Obviously, make sure to check out, thank you very much, Lance, with Superformance. And of course, if you guys enjoyed that video, could hit that like button for us. We'd really appreciate it. Consider getting subscribed for more content like this in the future. And with that, thanks so much for watching.